Celtics and Nuggets. Jayson Tatum is on the road for this 4-game road trip. He is working 5-on-5, according to Shams. We'll dive into what that means as we go. But let's dive into what was a good game. Here's my MVP, Jaylen Brown, 2 of his 23, JWill.
Yeah, look, 23 points, but 23 points on 21 shots. Denver did a really good job defensively, in particular Bruce Brown guarding.
Later in the quarter, Allen, it's Nikola Jokic doing what Nikola Jokic does.
Yeah, he's unguardable, especially when he's knocking down his threes. He was 4 of 13, though, from downtown. But the bench is what I like about the Nuggets. Tim Hardaway Jr. with a nice dunk.
14 off the bench for him, and then Jokic loses it and then gets it back, and the Nuggets take an 8-point lead on this run to close the third quarter. One more here off the turnover, KJ Simpson.
Look, the Celtics were 3-0 on their West Coast road trip until this game. Denver's defense is what beat them up.
Nuggets ended that third on an 11-0 run, and then the fourth quarter was a lot of this. Again, we mentioned Hardaway had 14 off the bench, and then 5 minutes to go, Denver's lead is 17. Let's put some punctuation on it. Jokic, his own rebound, up and good. They played this game. Jamal Murray, who was sick, played just 8 minutes, and yet still the Nuggets wind up winning it big. But here's the number that matters. The 40-20 rule. Alan, you brought this to the show. It's Phil Jackson's rule. As of now, we can officially declare there will only be 3 teams in the NBA who win 40 games before they lose their 20th, because the Celtics fell from that rank last night.
Right, and now do we believe that the champion is coming from these 3 teams? Or do we believe that this will be an outlier year, which there has been?
What is the number? What is the stat? Since 1980?
Since 1980. It's about 90%.
90% of the champions
have been 140 before they lost 20.
And last night was the Celtics' 20th loss. They have 38 wins. So that's the question, JWill. Detroit, OKC, and San Antonio. Are you willing to say the champion is one of those 3 teams?
I think it's 2 out of 3 teams. I think the Eastern Conference is playing for a consolation prize. Frankly, I think the winner is going to be either OKC, the Spurs, or the Nuggets. I think it's the West competing against everybody else. Those top 3 teams, I think that's going to be one of your NBA champions.
You buying that?
Yes, because that's where the brand names are, right? Like in a year like this, which feels like it's a little more wide open than usual, we are now in an era where there are no dynasties, right? We're still waiting for one to emerge. We thought maybe the Thunder could be one. They still very much could, because they're right there in the 40-20. But when you think about it, all the teams you know, all the players you know play there. And so in the East, you have a younger team like Detroit with a younger superstar in Cade Cunningham that we're still learning about. You have a Boston team that's compromised because they're missing one of their superstars. And then a Knicks team that is, what are they? That's why I think, once again, the West is the best.
Can we just say this, though, as it relates to the Boston Celtics? Like, I want Jayson Tatum to be on the court more than anybody. I should have given Jayson Tatum my number in college, right? I should have allowed 22 to come out of the rafters because he wanted to wear 22 and allow him to wear the number 22.
You guys don't all just have
No, we don't give each other our numbers. I had to graduate. It's a longer story with that. That's for another day. And I don't want to see him come back too early and jeopardize it. And also, everybody says, oh, he'll come back. You know how hard it is to come back? If you think about coming back during March or April, for a guy like this, just to fit all of a sudden into this system seamlessly, and they're going to find their rhythm. This whole team has been playing without him for a long period of time.
Playing very well.
And playing very well. You're going to disrupt that. I'd much rather see him come back in the offseason and work his way into the season next year than jeopardize it and maybe re-injure himself.
I'll say it
That's
again.
Just me.
Shams yesterday reporting that Tatum has been a full participant in 5-on-5 practices. He tore the ACL, the Achilles in May.
May 16th is the date. That's the day that it happened. And if you think about a year is usually what it takes. Some players have come back. Dominique Wilkins came back in 10 months. Kobe, 8 months, right? But they didn't parachute into a playoff run. You're talking about Wesley Matthews did it in 7 months. But a star player who would be expected to do a lot, to parachute in when everybody else is now already going 100 miles an hour. You're trying to ramp. Jay, no one knows this better than you because of what you had to come back from and how hard it was to come back. To understand that when you've been out for a while, to jump in at the start of a season's tough. To jump in at the start of the playoffs, that's got to be a big challenge.
And also, all the players then defer to you on the court, and it hinders the growth that they made, all the strides they made throughout the course of the regular season.
Yeah.
Because now everybody's going to stop. I'm like, how do we fit Jayson Tatum into our offensive flow? How does he fit into our rhythm? That doesn't happen.
Is it unfair to Jaylen Brown, too, because he has emerged as an MVP candidate and he has emerged as the bona fide leader of this team? He comes in, there's this sense of deferral. There's this sense of how do I work him in? Like for me, I understand what Tatum's doing, and I understand the Celtics for wanting to give him a why right now. Good for his mental to keep working and have something to achieve. But I don't know if it's the best thing for the team right now.
They may be playing for the consolation prize in the East, to your point. But do you believe the Celtics, without Jayson Tatum, can win the East with Detroit looking? No.
No.
That's the Pistons conference to lose. The Cavaliers.
I don't think the Cavs are in that conversation. I think it's Detroit. I think it's Detroit and everybody else.
Okay.
I'm just going to tell you, from watching the Knicks game, you get a chance to see Cade Cunningham, 6'6", 250 pounds, move the way he does. I know there's some flaws, but that's the best team in the Eastern Conference.
Cade Cunningham is emerging as a very safe bet to win MVP, but not solely because of the way he plays. Bottom of the hour, get up on ESPN. Victor Wembanyama and the Spurs in Toronto looking for a 10-game win streak. And JWill, Victor Wembanyama does not need to jump to block your shot.
That's how I blocked my son's shot. This is unbelievable.
Yeah,
five blocks last night. And then Allen on the other side, Wembanyama with the jam.
He barely had to jump for that one, too. That was he did not have a great shooting night, but that was a high percentage one.
And later in the fourth quarter, Spurs are down by 3, but De'Aaron Fox going to knock down the 3 to tie it.
Look, De'Aaron Fox, one of the unspoken heroes for this team, too, a guy that has veteran experience. Still don't know if that's going to be enough for them down the stretch, though.
Wembanyama, the fadeaway 3. Wow. He had 12 points, 8 rebounds. Spurs up by 6. 2 minutes left. How about the angle on this shot from De'Aaron Fox Allen?
Yeah, behind the backboard, little Larry Bird over the top and swish.
He would score 20. Spurs up by 4. 8 seconds left. Raptors down by 3.
He's got it, Jay. He's got it, Jay. He's got it, Jay.
Oh. Not even close from Brandon Ingram, and that's how it ends. San Antonio moving to just 2 games back of OKC for the top spot in the West with their 10th consecutive win, their longest win streak in a decade, which led our man, the win man, to make this bold proclamation with SVP last night.
I have made hotel reservations in San Antonio. My instincts of 23 years covering the NBA are a team that has never played in a playoff game together is not winning 12 playoff games in the Western Conference. That's what my instincts tell me. But then I watch Wembanyama, and I watch how these guys defend, and I am taking the impossible off the table.
The win man has got a hotel booked in San Antonio in June. Let me tell you, those to me are big words. That is Brian Windhorst telling us that Wembanyama and De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle and all those kids, those babies in San Antonio are ready to make that mammoth leap all the way to the NBA Finals this year. What do you say, JWill?
I say, this is a media dream. Can we just acknowledge it?
No.
It's a media dream.
Yes, it is.
Wembanyama gets to the finals. Everybody in media wants it. We're talking about an anomaly in the NBA Finals, a 7-6 guy. The chances of that happening, I think, are probable. It's okay. But I still think Denver and I still think OKC are better served. And I do worry about the lack there of experience. We watch OKC take their lumps. Mm-hmm. We watch Denver take their lumps multiple times at bat before you just get there and have a chance to say, hey, they're in NBA Finals and they win a championship.
Our friend Michael Wilbon, back when I was doing NBA Countdown, always used to say you have to have your heart broken before you can win the championship. Yeah. Spurs haven't had that. I guess Wembanyama sort of had it in the Olympics, but they haven't had it in the NBA. But they are one of the 40-20 teams. We talked about it. There
That's
are 3 teams that rule says could win the championship, and they're one of them.
Yes, and that, number one, there's a couple of facts. That's one of them. You know the other one I like? They're 21-11 versus teams with a winning record this season. That's the best record in the NBA. 21-11. Nobody else has 21 wins over teams with a winning record. They beat good teams. They don't just feast on the bad ones. So you have that. They have depth. They have guard depth for days. Yes, this is about Wembanyama, but this is also about De'Aaron Fox and Stephon Castle and Vassell and Dylan Harper. They throw guard after guard after guard at you. Their bench depth is very good. They've got size. And by the way, as we talked about earlier in the show, if the West is the best, you're telling me that they can't get out of the West. And if they do, how do they not win a championship? They would be the best team standing.
I think they have a legitimate chance. All I'm going to say is a lot of stats that we see throughout the course of the regular season sometimes are things that translate towards the postseason. But a lot of coaches, especially in the West right now, they don't show you their full hand during the regular season. Yeah. They save a lot of those strategies and schematics for the postseason and the playoffs. So as we get deeper into the playoffs, intricacies matter. All I'm saying, lack of experience with the intricacies is something that I will worry about with the Spurs.
Understood. However, You have not seen a player like this in the history of the sport. That's number one. And number two, it will depend on how much the league allows or the officiating allows the team's opponents to play physical against Wembanyama in the playoffs. We know that's when it gets ratcheted up. That could be a deciding factor.
I can tell you this: the TV ratings in France
see,
off the charts.
See, that's exactly my point.
ESPN France, get up from Paris.
I'm in. Oh, sign me up for that right now. I'm telling you what, Stace is coming to that one. That could be the first road trip. Stace like, Oklahoma City or Paris? Which one are we doing? That's a pretty easy choice.